West End Players have a pretty exciting schedule coming up. We are putting on our high-flying production of Peter Pan in the spring. Auditions for that are Monday and Tuesday next week, so that's tomorrow and the day after. You only have to make one day to audition. There will be parts for ensemble and a dance cast that only dances and does not sing. We also are putting on our West Summer Drama Academy, which teaches children ages 6 to 18 how to act on stage. I myself have been a part of this camp for the past several years, and I gotta say, it's a lot of fun. Registration is open right now at westdrama.com. You can also buy tickets for Peter Pan there. We will have a short intermission in which we will be selling concessions and break-a-leg notes in the lobby. Break-a-leg notes are a nice way for you to wish luck to your favorite cast and crew members. So that's all we have. Enjoy the show.
Not bad.
Then stay a little longer. We'd love to have you.
Jeff, if Audie invested 267 minutes in work, surely you can afford an additional 10 cents worth.
All right, my statistical friend. My curiosity is good for 10 minutes more.
I wonder what she's like. And Miss Willie said they're one of the wealthiest families in America.
That's bad. She'll have an expensive camera she can't work. Or rave about an artist I've never heard of.
Oh, cynic, his money spoiled me.
Do you have money, Fairy?
Bags.
Let's not be prejudiced about money. Some of my best friends are wealthy. Hannah will play something while we're waiting. Help distract Jeff.
Well, you catch me tune. What shall it be?
Surprise us.
How about a gypsy songs?
Please don't play gypsy music, Hannibal. It frightens me.
Frightens you?
Terrifies me. I was stolen by gypsies when I was a child and rescued just as they were about to dye my skin with walnut juice. Well, I was.
Go ahead, Hannibal.
I hope she likes music herself. Maybe she plays an instrument. Oh, the harp. Oh, I adore the harp all my life. Sorry, Hannibal. Go ahead. I was raised in a harp, you know. My father, like an angel.
Jeff, what are you doing?
Oh, there's a book on the shelf that I want. Sorry, Hannibal.
Fairy, keep the book for Jeff so we can listen to Hannibal.
I'll get a chair.
Oh, no, Barry, I can get it.
Oh, no. Climbing on chairs is women's work. Men have mountains. What book would you like?
The Lifespan of the Age.
People give the strangest books to this library. I couldn't get into Forbidden Tibet.
It's amazing what standing above people does. Do you know I feel smarter than anybody in the whole world?
It's the yellow one.
Books are in my blood, you know. My mother invented the filing system at the New York Library. She was queen of the cross index.
I'll get Jeff's book, Fairy.
Oh, no. Musicians shouldn't work.
Be careful, Fairy. Don't get dust in your eyes.
Wouldn't you like animal husbandry? I can reach that.
No, this time it's got to be the Lifespan of the Age.
Who's out with this? Ah! Turn the lights back on! Please turn the lights back on!
Reach the switch before someone is hurt.
It looks like Mrs. Patty is back.
Ah!
caused all this commotion. Forget it.
No, I'll get your book, Jeffrey, because everyone watch his own head. There you go, Jeffrey. You may take the ball, Miss Willie. You may take the hand.
The next time anyone wants a book from the top there, call me. My whole shelf might have fallen on you.
Oh, whoever heard of anyone being hurt by good bucks?
Enough of them might, darling, and I hate for that to happen.
I hate everything in the world. Most of all, I hate cold cream hot dogs, codfish, crawfish, catfish, catnip, sheep dip, sawdust subways, sewer skewers, buttermilk caterpillars, frictions, branches, pink cotton fans, policemen, and electricity. Miss Willie, how much longer do we have to wait?
What is she like, Miss Willie? I haven't seen her yet. Let's tighten the room up a bit. Fairy, will you keep our cheesy more away, please?
They're taking an awfully long time in front office. Is she young or old, Miss Willie?
All I know is her name is Savage and she is the blue room.
Well, I hope she isn't beautiful. Competition exhausts me.
Well, Bingo, you sure tied that one in a hurry?
Miss Willie, please don't call me that. It's a pet name my wife uses.
I forgot.
And I wish you wouldn't single me out to kiss.
You're the handsomest.
Well, what would my wife think if she came to call and saw a strange woman kissing me? She'd explode.
She would if I know her.
Will you please try to remember?
I'll try. Forgive me. Hello? Yes, Doctor. Right away. Put the chalkboard up, Hannibal. Please don't clutter the place, darlings. Let's try to make a good first impression.
Are we gonna meet her now?
I don't know.
We haven't had anybody interesting here since that one magician's wife. Remember, she was all embarrassed from being sawed in half so much? What was her name?
Something hyphenated.
I forget, but she had color. All my relations are so grub. Both my parents were albinos.
Oh, really, Fairy? You shouldn't invent such things.
Well, they were emotional albinos.
Oh, don't peek. It's so degrading to get on your knees.
You get on your knees to pray, don't you? I'll say a prayer. Dear God, let me see something.
You see anything?
Yes, I do. God was quick.
What do you see?
Someone coming out of Dr. Emmett's office.
Who?
1, 2, 3 strange people. They're coming this way. Let's go in the hall and eavesdrop.
Is that ethical, Jeff?
We'll be sent out anyhow.
We could call it espionage.
Countess Patty, we're going to spy.
Oh, I'll grab the light switch. It's rude to let guests enter a dark room.
This is the last time I'm going to be a party to picking, Fairy. Kneeling simply ruins my nylon.
I mustn't get too excited, or I'll get hiccups and betray us.
Dr. Emmett will join you in a moment.
Please, Summer, there's nothing more. We'd like to get started back.
Yes, Senator Savage. There are magazines and cigarettes on the table. Please make yourselves at home. Well, what do you think of it now, Titus? Are you reassured?
Somewhat. It certainly doesn't look like an institution. No, not at all.
Mother will be contented and happy here. I'm sure it's a charming place.
I just hope we haven't made a mistake.
The only mistake we've made was in not taking this up sooner.
I'd like to be thought insensitive. Might have been wiser to kept at home with the intendant.
That would have been disastrous.
You're hard.
Someone has to be practical.
No, you're callous. You've married too many foreigners.
Samuel, darling, we've done what's had to be done. Let's not quarrel about it, please.
Lily Bell's right. This is civilized behavior. I'm sorry to have delayed you. I was anxious to have Dr. Johnson question your mother. This is quite a place you have here, Doctor. Is been a great relief to us to found so cheerful.
But then we were assured that your place offered the best money could buy.
We hope we offer the best that experience can provide. One thing I meant to ask you, Doctor, will Mother be exposed to any danger here?
Not at all. The patients in the swing are in their final stages of treatment. They're extremely kind and cooperative. On the surface, most of them would seem quite as normal as, say yourself, Senator.
Oh, you don't say.
While we're waiting, Senator, I'd like to ask you a few more questions about this memorial fund of your mother's.
There's little more to tell. She planned on giving away the entire Savage estate.
The newspapers called it her happiness fund.
Was this indifference to money something recent?
I wouldn't say so.
Always giving money to foolish causes.
Would you mind being more specific?
Well, there was an Italian farmer who wanted a box of soil from Italy.
Just dirt.
She spent $200 just to buy it.
And there was a flower peddler who wanted a two-sold horse.
He got it.
After father died, this obsession got progressively worse. Last summer, she chartered a ship to send 1,000 school children around the world.
Why? She said they ought to go around the world while there was still a world around.
We stopped her just as she was on the verge of setting up this fund legally.
With a board of
It was
directors.
a fantastic board of directors, not a bishop, a banker, or a lawyer among them.
Whom did she choose?
A postman, a gardener, a veterinarian, and herself.
We should have known her mind was going the day she decided to step on the stage.
That. Have you ever heard of such a case before, Doctor? What would make a woman of her age decide to become an actress?
The unique is routine here, Senator. Nothing surprises us.
Her entire conduct was a travesty of dignity and self-respect.
And sound business.
Has there ever been a similar pattern of behavior in your mother's family?
Frankly, I don't know.
You see, Doctor, she's not our actual mother. Father remarried when we were children.
Oh, I see.
But it has never made any difference in our feelings toward her.
Well, I'm afraid I can't be of much help to you until I've had time to observe her conduct here.
You're the doctor.
And we know she'll be comfortable in such a charming place.
I wouldn't mind staying here myself.
This is no place to laugh, Samuel.
But we encourage laughter, Senator. We think it's healthy.
You do?
Of course, it's good therapy. For as Byron says, and if I laugh at any mortal thing, it is that I may not weep.
Of course, of course.
Yes, Miss Willie?
I beg your pardon, Dr. Emmett, but Dr. Johnson won't be able to complete Mrs. Savage's file for the moment.
Why not?
He finds her a little uncooperative.
Then bring her in here.
Yes,
While you're waiting, I'll have a talk with Dr. Johnson.
Please don't go, Doctor.
Please, doctor.
Please, doctor, we prefer you to stay. The shorter we make this, the better for all concerned.
She's vindictive.
For some reason, Doctor, she holds me responsible.
We'll have to give her a little more time to get over her resentment.
will you come in here, Mrs. Savage?
Please sit down, Mrs. Savage.
We waited to say goodbye to you, Mother.
I do not like thee, Lilybell. The reason why I cannot tell. This I know and know full well. I do not like thee, Lilybell.
She's been chanting that over and over all the way down here.
Your children are leaving, Mrs. Savage. Wouldn't you like to say goodbye to them? They would like to say goodbye to you, Mrs. Savage.
Fireflies are out. How lovely. What makes fireflies light up, Doctor? Are they mating?
I really couldn't say, Mrs. Savage.
I thought you'd know. Isn't this a bug house?
This is the cloisters. This is to be your new home.
I'm Dr. Emmett.
Wouldn't it be fascinating if human beings glowed like fireflies while they were mating? Do you light up while you're mating, Lilybell? Lord knows you're flighty.
We might as well go, Titus. She's going to be unpleasant again.
Certainly, Mother. Not gonna let us leave in an atmosphere of bitterness.
Needles and 50 pins and 50 dirty Republicans.
She's determined to take the wrong attitude. It's futile. God knows she's upset. Well, we better go. Time will take care of this. Come, Samuel.
I'll send more of the clothes out later, Doctor. We couldn't pack but one grip under the circumstance.
Well, Sunday is Visitor's Day. If you care to bring them down then. My sister is returning to Paris next week. Full of arrangements. Good night, Mother. If you need any help, Mrs. Savage, Miss Wilhelmina will take care of you.
We've a lovely garden out there. You'll be able to see it in the morning. When I was a child, we always said 30 needles and 30 pins. You've added 20 more dirty Republicans. It's a fault of mine. Exaggeration. Stupid of me to try to irritate them like this. I just irritate myself. Well, I suppose it has to be exasperating now to be funny later. I noticed one of its eyes is gone. It must have dropped out in the office. I'll look as soon as they go. Oh, Father. It fell out last fall at the opera. I found it, but the usher was so nasty about my lighting matches during the magic fire music. You do know what this is, don't you? Suppose you tell me. It's a teddy bear. Surely you've seen one before. Not that big. You know what I do with it? I couldn't possibly guess. I sleep with it. Do you? Yes, I do, you! Are you going to talk to me as if I were an imbecile, too? You're here, we mustn't be hostile. Of course not. You hadn't harmed me. Would you care to know why I sleep with it? If you care to tell me. I don't care, and I'll tell you. I get lonely. I'm too old to have a lover and too fastidious to sleep with a cat. Then, by all means, you must take it to bed with you here. Would you care to take off your hat? If I'm going to spend the rest of my life here, I might as well. It's a mighty saucy hat. 10-cent piece of felt and 3 chicken feathers. $85. My economy should be expensive, I don't know. It takes imagination and the blood of pirates. But I wanted it. I wanted a hat like this since I was 16. For all the good it does me now. Well, I won't be needing it here. Maybe you could use it for something. Not at all sure what. Oh, you better keep it. You might need it. Dear, oh dear, my hair looks like the mad end of a coconut. Oh, I don't think so. It's a heavenly color. You should have seen it last year. It was bright red. And then, just to be different, I dyed it black with a white streak in the middle. I looked nothing so much as a skunk. So I just gave up and tinted it blue. It goes with everything. It'll certainly go with your rooms. Would you like to go up and get settled? Is it time to lock me up? I wouldn't dream of locking you up, Mrs. Savage. Did you bring a suitcase? My daughter did. I wasn't consulted. I'll go get it and bring you up. You'll have time to explore your surroundings tomorrow. Oh, you can wait here. Hello? Of course. No handcuffs. We have the honor system.
expecting you all afternoon. We're so glad to have you with us. May I introduce Fairy May?
Tell me you love me.
But we just met.
Oh, but you don't have to mean it. I just feel wonderful when people tell me they love me.
Well, I'm sure everyone loves you.
See, I told you she wouldn't be spoiled. Welcome to the cloisters. Climate fast by government task.
Thank you. And this is Hannibal. And this is our Mrs. Patty. How do you do, Mrs. Patty? I hate everything in the world. Most of all, I hate lightning, skunk cabbage, custard mustard, spiders, blisters, skirtles, mice, beans, keys, ragweed, chloroform, rhubarb, barnacles, bats, broken glass, eels, drones, drones, tombstones, gallstones, salt, and thunder. Why don't you like rhubarb?
Mrs. Patty won't answer you, Mrs. Savage. She'll only recite the things she hates.
Sweet but stubborn.
Mrs. Patty stopped talking about 20 years ago. Why?
She got
Her
mad.
husband told her to shut up.
Yes, she did.
She gave up conversation for life.
Oh, but she's only giving up electricity for Lent.
You're a woman of wisdom, Mrs. Patty. There's only one thing wiser than saying very little, and that's saying nothing at all. Would you like to hold it?
She likes you.
I like her. Oh, you haven't met Jeff. Come here, Jeff.
Please excuse my left hand.
Certainly. Is it a toothache? Jeff's face is scarred and he likes to spare people. Well, you don't have to spare me. I have to look at myself every morning.
Dr. Emmett refuses to let me wear a bandage.
Well, we have to humor our doctors every once in a while.
And now you've met everybody. We're a small group in this ring, and we hope you find us comfortable to be with.
But Mrs. Savage hasn't met everyone. She hasn't met the Holy Terror.
Of course. How stupid of me.
Where is he, Florence?
Well, he was here just a few moments ago. John Thomas?
He might have gone out with the Hawthorns.
I'll see. John Thomas! Oh,
You won't hurt her, will you?
gracious, why should I?
You won't object, will you?
Well, what is John Thomas?
Her son. What did you think?
Here?
Yes, he was born here. I can't find.
Oh, look, there he is, asleep on the floor. Oh, my husband warned me I'd be a bad mother. Mrs. Savage, this is my son.
You like children, don't you?
Everyone's but my own. How old is he? 5. He's awfully big for 5 months. No, 5 years. I meant years. Will you excuse me, please? I have to put him to bed. He has the measles. Oh, I do hope you won't catch them. Excuse me.
That was exceedingly kind of you, Mrs. Savage. Not to notice anything wrong.
There wasn't time to explain, but you were like lightning.
Oh, Florence isn't well. We pretend for her sake, and we hope you will too.
Oh, I will.
You should know right away, Mrs. Savage, that aside from Florence, the rest of us are free to leave here whenever we want.
But we don't go, because there's no better place to go.
You're a very lucky woman to be accepted, Mrs. Savage. If I do say so myself. And if you.
Did you hear the buzzer?
Oh, I think I did.
Anyways, that rude noise is the signal for us to go to our rooms.
It's the evil of the machine age. Perfect distance and no manners.
Ours not to reason why. I wonder why no one ever quotes the first line. It's someone's wonder.
Good night.
I didn't hear you. We don't say that. It means there's no more.
No more what?
Oh, there's no more of so much.
Please don't let Jeff's manner disturb you, Mrs. Savage. During the war, his plane was shot down and he He hasn't quite recovered yet.
Was his face bad, Berish?
No, Jeff bailed out, but he was the only one. He lost his crew. His scar goes a little deeper than we can see.
Surely you guessed by now that Hannibal and I are the only ones here for me to go. We pretend for the others to save their pride. Oh, I'm sorry, Mrs. Patty. I didn't realize you were still here. I didn't mean you anyhow. I could tear my tongue out. Please excuse me if I don't apologize just so.
Fairy May has the gift of the good for saying the wrong thing.
I should think it would take a bit of doing to apologize to someone who won't talk himself anyhow.
Don't get used to Mrs. Patty. Just treat her like a clock. Look at her, see how the day goes, and don't expect an answer. She's happy at her easel.
Is she an artist?
I don't know if she's an artist or not, but she paints
Portraits?
seascapes, which is rather odd considering she's never seen the ocean.
I forgot to warn you, Mrs. Savage. Stay awake. If you go to your room, don't sleep. What does she mean about not sleeping?
None of us sleeps here.
Where do you sleep?
We don't. Oh, we go to our rooms. We've agreed to that in principle. But we stay awake. We never close our eyes. See, when you go to sleep, today ends. And when today ends, tomorrow begins. Today, we're safe. Tomorrow may be filled with disaster. You won't catch any of us sleeping around here. Could anything be simpler?
Not much.
Today's the only certainty.
Hannibal, you heard the buzzer. Why aren't you in your room?
I am the spirit, and everyone says it's the spirit that counts. Remember, I'm the night.
Do they all come in to meet you?
Well, there was a Mrs. Patty and 4 others who have no business being here at their age.
I quite agree.
Do you think I belong here?
We're understaffed, Mrs. Savage. I'm kept too busy to have my own opinion.
I'd like to know what they told you about me.
Was there anything to tell?
They mentioned my memorial fund.
Not to me.
Then they probably told you that my husband's death affected my reason.
That would be understandable.
But untrue.
Why? Weren't you happy with your husband?
I married Jonathan when I was 16. I loved him from the moment I met him until the moment he died. Do you know what that meant?
I think so.
Well, you don't, my dear. It meant that my only aim in life was to make him happy. To want what he wanted, to anticipate what would please him. And that meant that all other things I ever wanted had to be forgotten.
But surely you had no regrets.
None. While he lived. But after he was gone, I remembered all the foolish things I'd always wanted to do.
What had you always wanted to do?
Things that would have shocked poor Jonathan.
Like dyeing your hair blue?
That, and studying French, ballet dancing, and people. As a girl, I was sure I could have been a great actress. So, with no responsibilities and time running out, I decided I'd be one.
But don't you think you waited too long, Mrs. Savage?
I certainly do. Had I been a fool in my youth, no one would have noticed the difference in my old age.
I never think of you as old, Mrs. Savage.
Well, having kicked over the traces myself, I'd learned once again the importance of unimportant things. I decided I'd tell others of the foolish things they'd always wanted.
And how are you going to do that?
By establishing the Jonathan Savage Memorial Fund, a foundation for giving money away in memory of my husband. That insane idea has brought me here.
Well, you won't find it too unpleasant here. Shall we go up to your room now?
Well, at least my French lessons taught me one thing.
What's that?
What I am. I'm a mort canard. That's a dead duck.
Now think. It's not as bad as that.
Yes, it is. One day you'll realize a great injustice was done me. But every once in a while. It would say wearing out the middle. Beautiful, what would we do without you, Hannibal? You bring melody to the morning.
You could be in concert field, Hannibal, if you really worked at it.
You're so right, Jeffrey. Golden fingertips. I simply surrender to it. I'm rag. You and Mrs. Savage.
I trust you had a pleasant, sleepless night.
Lovely, thank you. Not a wink.
You just missed Hannibal's recital.
I heard it. As a matter of fact, it's what brought me out of my room. You wouldn't believe it, Mrs. Savage, but Hannibal's never touched a violin until last year. What makes you think I wouldn't believe it, my dear? Was it something you composed yourself, Hannibal?
Bach, with variations of my own.
Mathematics lost was certainly our gain. Oh, I don't quite follow that, Mary.
Mary knows I used to be a statistician.
Thank you. No, I'm straight. Oh, give him a fraction to multiply. I'm afraid I wouldn't know whether he was right or not.
My last position was with the government, charting trends. I was supposed to keep my finger on the pulse of the public and my ear to the ground.
Rather vulnerable position, was it not?
Mary, I was fired and replaced by an electronic calculator.
Think you would hate electricity too?
No, but I wanted to make money with my brains. So I spent the next 2 years trying to find something that could be made for a dime, sold for $1, and was habit forming. I'm afraid my education was wasted.
I'm going to send John Thomas to Princeton. Their boys aren't very bright, but they're such gentlemen.
That reminds me, Mrs. Savage. May we ask you a personal question? They're the only ones worth asking, my dear.
A little bird told us that you used to be an actress. We're bursting with curiosity. Is it true?
That. Well, being on the stage makes you an actress, then I guess it's true. Miss Willie, the bird Florence mentioned, told us that you had been on the New York stage.
I wonder if we've ever seen you, Mrs. Savage.
Not unless you were quick. Actually, I was only in 2 plays. The first was Macbeth. Oh, I adore Macbeth! All that blood! I sent a pint of my blood to the Red Cross once. They sent it back.
I think you would have made a novel departure as Lady Macbeth.
I can't tell you how much I agree with you. But they cast me as a witch. You're a perfect witch. Thank you, dear. Please speak some witch talk for us. Oh, I didn't have any lines. If I did, it would have cost me twice as much.
Why did it cost you anything?
I backed the show. Had I not put up the money, I couldn't have played even a mute witch. But we made history. We were the first play to ever close before the reviews were out. Was it expensive? Extremely. But worth it. What a pity. Weren't you discouraged? Bitterly. But man is optimistic by nature. If he were to eat as young. So I decided I'd write a play and star in it myself. You wrote a play? I did indeed. With a courage born of ignorance and a plot out of wedlock.
What part did you play then?
Naturally the lead. Not Guilty, starring Ethel P. Savage.
What does the P stand for?
I haven't the faintest idea. My neurologist said I needed it in my name for luck. He was right. We ran a year. What was the play about? A mother who had murdered a man and was defended by a young woman lawyer who turns out to be her own daughter. I had red hair and died in my daughter's arms every night and 2 matinees a week. The curtain came down and the jury whispered, "Not guilty." Oh, I never had a better time in my life.
I gather the notices were good this time?
Well, they were sincere.
What did they say?
Street Journal said that my place at the theater back 50 years. It couldn't possibly, though, because I stole the plot from Madam X, and that's only 40 years old.
What did we think they know?
But the Times was wonderful. They said I brought something new to the theater.
Money?
Oh, really, Fairy? Money isn't new.
What did the Times say?
Times said I had a tenacious mediocrity, unhampered by taste.
But that wasn't good.
It was perfect. Our ad simply said tenacious and unhampered.
And you ran a year?
It had been running yet had my daughter not come home and stopped me. Oh, I know I was bad, and audiences only came to laugh at me, but we both had a good time. What more could you ask? I do miss it. Oh well, my turn is coming.
I don't think that was very nice of your daughter. Oh, no, please don't do that. Oh, what is wrong? Mrs. Savage is going to read the newspaper.
Oh! What's the
I
matter?
wouldn't do that if I were you, Mrs. Savage.
Please give it to me. Please, Mrs. Savage.
You mustn't read it.
It will only make you unhappy.
Just a moment. I know what it's going to say in the paper. I've just been waiting for it to happen.
Waiting for what to happen, Mrs. Savage?
Why, what it says in the paper.
But we don't know what it says in the paper.
Then why were you trying to keep me from reading it?
We have an agreement.
We don't read the newspapers until they're on hold.
We find we're much happier when we wait. What are you waiting for?
Naturally, we're waiting for... Hannibal? What are we waiting for?
Perspective.
Yeah!
Peace of mind.
Security.
We believe it's better to read about bad things a month after they happen.
It's refreshing to know that they're over and nothing can be done.
My dear people, there's something important in the paper that I'd like to read about now. Not next month. We're only trying to help you.
Yes!
Disaster is easiest to digest when it's aged a little.
You're sweet, but I made my bet and I want to know who's in it. We can't prevent Mrs. Savage from reading the paper if she insists. We don't know her well enough to be rude.
Florence is right.
Well, if you read anything unpleasant, Mrs. Savage, don't tell us.
No.
If there's trouble in the woods, we don't want to know about it. This is yesterday's paper. I want today's paper.
It hasn't come yet.
When does it come?
I don't know.
Is there a radio here?
Yes.
Maybe I can catch the news.
Right there.
Why didn't someone mention there was a radio here?
Well, you didn't ask us.
The set doesn't light up. Is there something wrong with it?
I don't think so. Of course, it hasn't any tubes.
It hasn't any what? Tubes. Mrs. Patty steals them. She hates electricity, you know.
No one knows where she puts them.
Why did you say the set had no tubes?
Well, you didn't ask us.
Oh, dear. How high is that wall?
Much too high.
Easily 10 chairs high.
I suppose no one ever leaves that great gate open.
Don't look beyond the garden, Mrs. Savage. There may be a better place somewhere, but if you give this up to search for it, you may not find it and lose what you have.
You'll like it here after a while.
Except in January, it gets a little chilly.
We like you already.
It's not that I don't find you all enchanting, but you would be what?
Oh, please don't say anything mean. The buzzer is buzzing again.
We have to go, Mrs. Savage.
Where?
It's garden hour.
We have a little lot and we plant things. You can plant anything you wish, vegetables or flowers.
Last year, I planted bird seed to see what would come up.
What did come up, Fairy?
Nothing, but it was a rich horticultural experience.
There's a beautiful evergreen in the center. At Christmas it says, Merry Christmas. Keep out.
Oh, come with us, Mrs. Savage. I'll show you my video.
Please go without me. I have some serious thinking to do.
But the buzzer buzz. One has to obey orders.
why you're doing that, Mrs. Savage?
I believe in wearing a carpet out evenly. Oh, how prudent. I'm going to help you. But, Fairy, don't you have to garden? This is more constructive. Oh, how true. We must all do our share. I didn't mean to start a procession. Come, boys. Many feet make light work.
Why not? It's a refreshing change. Most women lead us in circles.
Go ahead, Mrs. Savage. We're behind you. Good. Oh, I feel like the Pied Piper. All right, so you step on leaves, Jeffrey, and Molly can take bites. Mrs. Savage can walk on roses, and the rest of us walk on thorns. Oh, hi, Miss Lily. Do you know what we're doing?
Wearing out the carpet evenly?
Oh, someone told you.
Didn't I hear the buzzer ring garden hour?
I didn't hear it. I think it's broken.
Fairy, aren't you ashamed?
Oh, I wish I were dead. I'm afraid this is my fault, Miss Lily.
I didn't feel like gardening anyhow. But you've worked so hard with your flowers. Do you want them to die, Florence?
I don't want anything to die. That's all right. Florence wouldn't hurt a fly if she catches them and puts them out the window. Flies adore her.
I think we'd all better go out and work in the garden. Fairy, you can share your seats with Mrs. Savage. Aren't you going to go with them, Mrs. Savage?
I want to speak to you alone.
All right. What can I do for you?
Great deal. And it might be that I can do a great deal for you as well.
Are you about to offer me a bribe, Mrs. Savage?
How did you guess?
Everyone does. At first.
Still, my offer is a little different. I have the money. I'll give you $20,000 to leave that door open tonight. $30,000.
Don't you like us, Mrs. Savage?
That's the most irritating answer to a sound business offer, my dear. 40,000. You could be free of this place too.
But I don't want to be free of it.
50,000. You could travel the world, see Cairo, Mandalay, the South Pacific.
But I've seen Cairo. I've been to Mandalay and the South Pacific.
You have?
I had 4 years as an army nurse.
Still, you could use $50,000.
Now, where would you get that kind of money, Mrs. Savage? It's a fortune.
Never mind, I can get it. And in the current idiom, 50,000 is peanuts.
I believe you. It's just, I'm afraid I have to refuse.
Then you leave me no choice but to burn the place down.
Oh, you wouldn't do that.
Oh, yes, I
Too many people here wouldn't know how to save themselves. You'd think of them first.
would. You believe I belong here. Then why are you appealing to my reason?
I'm not. I'm appealing to your emotions.
Well, I'll get out of here quickly enough. It's just that bribing you would have been much cheaper. That would have cost me a couple million at least.
Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning. Is Mrs. Savage downstairs?
She just this minute went out to the garden.
What is her state of mind this morning?
The usual pattern. She already offered me a bribe.
What did she offer you?
The highest yet. 50,000. Poor dear.
Did she sound confident?
Dephlegmatic. She talked as if she still controls her own affairs.
Well, apparently she does. Here, read this. I've just been talking with her stepchildren. They're practically out of their minds themselves. The senator is leaving Washington at once. He'll pick up his sister in New York. The judge in Boston will be here by tonight.
This is the most amazing story I've ever read. When did they discover it?
I gathered this morning. They've asked me to confine her to a room.
I don't understand it. How could she get away with so much money?
God knows.
$10 million. That's a typographical error, isn't it?
No, they had it all right.
What could she have done with it?
God knows.
Could she have spent it?
I doubt it. Would you call her in here, please? I'd better tell her what to expect.
Oh, Mrs. Savage, will you come in here, please? Dr. Emmett wants to see you. Are you going to place her in seclusion?
Of course not. But sometimes I wish there was a way of placing relations in seclusion. They're always much more trouble than patients.
Do you think she knows what happened to the money?
If she does, she's the only one.
Is there any possibility there's a method in her madness?
Miss Willie, I find it harder every day to say exactly where reason ends and madness begins. But for the moment, I must accept the presumptive evidence of her stepchildren.
Well, from what I hear, her son's record in Congress would give any good psychiatrist a nasty turn.
And the sensationalism of her daughter's 6 divorces doesn't speak well for her emotional stability either.
Do you want to see me, doctor?
Yes, good morning. Would you help out in the switchboard? Irm has been deluged with calls from the newspaper.
Yes, doctor.
Please, sit.
I think I know what you're going to tell me.
Do you?
So you have the morning paper. I was wondering how long it would take them to find out.
Then you are aware of what you've done and the consequences?
It's too early for the consequences. May I see it?
The senator phoned from Washington. We can expect them here by tonight.
Indeed we can. But I'm not going anyplace.
How could you possibly have spent $10 million without someone knowing about it?
Who said I spent it?
The paper says you did.
Oh, what did they know? I didn't spend it, I couldn't. I hid it.
You hid it.
Nice $500,000 negotiable bonds that can't be traced.
Why?
I don't ask you what you do with your money, doctor.
I'm sorry this has happened to you. I'm afraid this hidden treasure of yours is going to prove a great disadvantage to you.
That's because you're a doctor. And doctors never know the real value of money.
Would you like to know how long it would take me to make that much money, Mrs. Savage?
Oh, excuse me. I just came to get my violin. Fairy May wants music while she plants her seeds.
Just a moment, Campbell. You are a statistician. How long would it take the average doctor to make $10 million?
Well, you'd have to start before Christ was born and work through the burning of Rome up to the burning of St. Joan and Savonarola, with time out, of course, for the Norman Conquest, the Crusades, the 7 Years' War, the 30 Years' War, and the 100 Years' War. So that means we'd have to work double time through the discovery of America up to penicillin and bubblegum. Oh, but that's without deducting federal tax, state tax, city tax, school tax, luxury tax, and amusement tax. You'd add about 100 years for that.
Thank you, Animal. That's a great deal to be responsible for, Mrs. Savage.
Now what's the doctor up to?
A bit of emotional blackmail, I suspect. Hannibal, would you guess to look at me that I'm worth 10 million on the book?
Never. Human body only has 20 cents worth of calcium in it, 5 cents worth of iodine, 20 cents worth of phosphorus, and, well, even at present high prices, nobody is worth over $1.50.
You only value me at $1.50.
No. You said worth. Your value is inestimable.
I like you, Hannibal. I like you very much. You make me feel important. You make me feel like dancing.
Splendid. What shall I play?
Anything.
I'm very good on the flank of the bumblebee.
Anything be more appropriate. Bees come home and find the honey is gone. Someone is going to be stung. Play, Hannibal. or hurry back, or watch out, you'll break your neck. There are a million ways of wording it, my dear. You just have to listen. My dentist said that I have perfect occlusion. Do you think he was saying he loved me? What else? Like the first day I met my husband, we were horseback riding, and he said I had a good seat. I knew immediately he loved me. Oh, thank you. I've been missing so much. Oh, my dentist loves me. Now, is there anything else I can clear up for you, Berish? No, I'm sorry for disturbing you. Thank you. Forgive me.
Mrs. Savage,
Yes, dear.
I'm keeping score and the boys won't help me. What's 7 and 5 and 4?
49.
Mrs. Savage?
It's my own system, Hannibal. I refuse to submit to the tyranny of mathematics.
Then I win.
I'll keep score after this.
Mrs. Savage? Yes, dear.
May I interrupt you a moment more?
Of course.
There's one more thing you can clear up for me. Why is it suddenly Sunday again when it was only Sunday yesterday?
Why do you think it's Sunday, Fairy?
Oh, well, if your children are coming to see you, then it must be Sunday because that's Visitor's Day.
It's not Sunday, Fairy. My brood are coming back because they couldn't wait a week.
Well, that should make you happy.
Should, but it doesn't.
Excuse me. Don't you like that?
Not at all.
Oh, I think that's a wicked thing to say.
We have to be wicked once in a while to get God's attention. But if it consoles you, Florence, they are not my own. My husband was left with 3 small children.
Oh, but you must have liked them when they were little.
I wanted to make them my own, desperately. They always resented me. But the first time I put my arms around Lily Bell, she bit me. And she bit me every day until she was 10.
That must have made you very high-strung.
What stopped her at the exact age of 10?
I suppose at 10 a girl begins to consider her teeth.
But the boys are always so much better.
Not always. They've been spoiled by money. And whenever I try to correct them, they break something that I treasure to get even with me. It was a good day when they went away to school.
Well, school must have taught them something.
Yes, French. Whenever they came home, they spoke nothing but French, so I couldn't understand them. And I haven't understood them since.
But you must be proud of them now. And the senator is quite famous, isn't he?
That he is, make no mistake. I'm told he gets more threatening telegrams than any other man in Congress. I believe Western Union lists him as a tangible asset.
Well, if he's so unpopular, why do the voters keep sending him to Washington?
They're no fools. It's the only way to keep him out of the state.
The other son's a judge, isn't he?
That's a distinction.
He's made it one. I'm told he has the distinction of getting more of his decisions reversed than any other man in jurisprudence.
Is the daughter pretty, Mrs. Savage?
Well, the picture's in the paper. I'll show it to you and you can judge for yourself.
Don't read us anything out of the paper, please.
I won't. I'll just show you her picture.
We don't look at pictures either.
People are always pinned on their trucks.
I'll peek first to make sure it isn't horrible.
Even I don't say it's horrible.
Oh, she's a queen. She's wearing a crown.
A queen? That is a tiara. An old picture taken when she was married to her snowy prince.
Let's take a quick look, Hannibal. Just to be polite.
Oh, then she must be a princess.
Oh, no. She discarded the prince a good 6 husbands ago.
Oh, but why?
They'll have no music like a woman playing second fiddle.
But she kept the tiara.
Indeed she did. I suspect she sleeps in it.
I don't know, and I've seen a prettier tiara.
Dress is cut rather low, isn't it?
I don't like her. Let's do something mean to her.
Why, Fairy?
I don't mean anything really mean, just something like
I don't know what to say to you, Mother. Like me, I don't know what to say.
Like people say, good evening. Deception is so unlike you.
I'm not angry, I'm just hurt. Have you the faintest idea of the enormity of what you've done? You've sole control of 15 Savage Industries.
We'll have to sell our stock in Savage Grass to buy that.
Oh, did you find out? I sold that one first.
I must get excited. Get lines.
What else? What else did you dispose of?
Everything in my name.
You're ruined. Where's the money? You could have spent it.
Tell us what you did with it, dear.
I converted it into a neat little bundle of negotiable bonds and buried them.
When you say buried, you mean hidden?
I mean buried, as in funeral.
In the ground.
I feel physically ill.
Where's it buried?
I forget.
Oh Lord, grant my mother one moment of clarity.
Where did you bury it? Concentrate.
Best thing for taking lines out of the face, Lilybell. I've got to do something about getting you a new eye. Do you know where they sell bear's eyes, Lilybell?
Give me that stupid thing and answer.
Lilybell, wait. You're just antagonizing her. You won't get anywhere shouting.
Sorry, Mother. Hold your bear. We forget that you're sick.
What we must make you understand, Mother, is that the money involved is not what concerns us so much as the disgrace. What happened?
She bit me!
Nonsense. Whatever Mother might do, she wouldn't descend to biting. It was a wasp.
If ever there was a wasp, it's the woman we call Mother. I know that I bit it!
There's no need to raise your voice. Does it hurt?
Of course it hurt!
Lilybell, we'll get nowhere fighting among ourselves. Now stop it. We can't afford it.
You can't afford anything.
We simply refuse to be angry with you, Mother. Now, Lilybell, apologize.
I will not.
Lilybell.
Quite all right, Mother. I don't object to you biting me, gnaw and mangle me to the bone and thumb me to your heart's content. Only tell us what you did with our money.
My money. You already have your share.
The estate is ours. It belonged to the Savage family for generations.
8 generations. It is unthinkable that you should be the first savage we found wanting.
Found wanting what?
The savage pride. Now, I want you to listen carefully to what I have to say. The estate has always been a sacred trust. We have never considered ourselves possessors of great wealth, but custodians of... Don't do that!
Look, I asked you to look. She's been throwing dirt at my picture.
What of it? That can't possibly hurt you.
It's a vicarious form of murdering someone. It's only the most sort of vicious voodoo magic known to science.
We're losing ground.
We were fostered by a werewolf, every savage son of us.
My patience is exhausted. Where is the money?
I told you I buried it.
Where? Unless you tell us at once, you're going to a public institution. We will not tolerate this criminal waste.
You got me in such a state I can't think. I haven't a brain in my head anyhow. You said so time and again.
Not me.
With all this shouting you've given me a headache. I can't remember a thing.
What do you mean you can't remember a thing? Of course you
I
can.
can't. My head is pounding.
Titus, you better be careful.
Can we get you something?
Yes. The only thing that clears my head are those powders I used to take.
Where are they?
I'm out of them.
We'll get more.
Will you?
Of course.
Here is the prescription number. It's from my druggist in Boston.
You mean drive all the way back to Boston?
Where is everyone?
Are you ill?
Titus, this is dangerous. You better get those powders and come back in the morning. We won't accomplish anything tonight.
Yes, I agree with you. Get the prescription filled.
Get it filled, Samuel, and when we get back, I'm going to write it.
Are you prepared to tell us what you've done with those bonds in the morning?
Pound.
Oh, go tell the chauffeur we're ready. What happened to him? Will we back first thing in the morning.
Pound,
Come to the bell.
pound.
I'll have Dr. Emmett give her sedative.
Lily Bell.
What do you mean by
I've something important to tell you about the bonds. Close the door.
well?
I want to tell you alone, where I hid them.
Why me?
Titus and Samuel are fools, and if anything happened to me overnight, the bonds will be lost.
Well, was Titus who wanted you here, not I. Where did you hide them?
Where would you hide $10 million if you didn't trust banks?
I don't know.
Under a rock?
Oh, of course not.
Would you hide them in your mattress? Of course, you're never far from your mattress. But suppose you were and the house burned down.
Are you going to tell me or not?
Have you ever been to the Museum of Natural History? No. Very educational. And fireproof.
Mother, please.
Do you know what's on the 3rd floor of the museum?
How could I?
The Department of Ichthyology.
What are you talking about?
Fish! And the last room on the 3rd floor made from 2 wires is a big, dusty porpoise.
Well,
I stuffed my bonds in that stuffed fish when no one was looking.
don't believe you.
Name me a safer place.
Only a fool would do such a thing.
That's me!
How could you get a package of bonds inside of a porpoise?
Easy, razor blade and scotch tape.
How do I know you're telling me the truth?
There's one easy way to find out.
You must think I'm very gullible. I have no intention of hunting inside of a starfish.
Are we to hold the car all night for you, Lily Bell? Samuel is hunky.
Let him honk.
Dr. Emmett will be with you in a few minutes.
Titus!
Yes?
Kiss me goodbye.
You bit, Lily Bell. I don't trust you.
Well, that's ironical because I trust you. I was just about to tell you where the bonds are hidden.
Surely you know that I never wanted you here. I listened to Lily Bell.
Will you get me out of here and let me alone?
Oh, you know I will.
And I'll tell you. The bonds are in a tin box.
Where?
Do you remember when I went to Washington with a group from Actors Equity?
No.
Well, I do. It was National Ethel Week. You know, like lunch with the First Lady. There was Ethel Barrymore, Ethel Merman, Ethel Waters.
What are you talking about?
My bonds are buried in the president's hothouse.
I don't believe you.
You didn't believe Pearl Harbor until you investigated.
Why would you choose such a public place, everybody in and out?
Well, I'm not very bright.
I'm the only man who can't get into the White House.
I agree with him, Aldener.
How do I know you didn't imagine this?
There's one easy way to find out. Dig.
Oh, no. I'm not going to fall in that trap. You didn't bury the box there.
In the corner, under the petunia bed.
Titus, unless you hurry, Samuel's going off without us.
I'm coming. I refuse to believe you.
We listen. We're horrible. We're quite ashamed. Oh, we all wish we were dead.
Wanted to stop listening and sneak away, but we were afraid we'd make too much noise.
It's quite all right. It's no secret. You read the papers, you know. Did you? Really? Hide all that money? I did indeed. For my memorial fund. And now you're giving it back. You're very generous for your size and weight.
But you didn't tell the judge where his share was.
That prescription note was really a note saying to dig under the chimney.
But why did you hide them if you were just going to tell them where it was?
What makes you think I did? We heard want to believe me.
They might consider it degrading to go out dating.
But they will.
How can you be sure?
There are a million things a man won't do for $5. But not 5 things a man won't do for $1 million. They'll date. This, you scared me.
I didn't know anybody was in here.
I didn't know you could play the piano.
I only play when I'm alone.
You shouldn't be so shy. No one's going to compare you with a professional.
But I am a professional.
Oh.
I made my debut in town hall the week before the war. Jeffrey Merritt. You see?
Why, Jeff, it says you are brilliant. Forgive me, I should have
I
known.
was going to appear with the Philharmonic. I didn't. But I have the contract to prove I might have.
You never play, Jeff. Oh, please do go on. I'd like to hear you.
No, I don't like to be stared at.
I'll look the other way and listen.
I'd really rather not. I'm not ready to face people yet. Please don't insist.
I wouldn't dream of it.
Thank you. Can you keep a secret?
About 10 minutes.
Dr. Emmett isn't really a doctor at all.
What is he?
A patient. Just like Mrs. Patty.
You think so?
Well, for 5 years now, he's promised to give me a new face.
No, Jeff, he's a doctor. It says so on his office door. He would lie.
Well, do you believe a man is what he claims to be?
I'm a trusting soul. I try to believe the best of people.
Well, it's best to believe the worst. If you believe the worst, then the worst is only half bad at best, and the best is no worse than expected. So it's best to believe the worst.
You know, Jeff, that is just obscure enough to be profound. What does it mean?
Well, it's simple. If a man claims he's wise, you say he's a fool. But if he says he's a fool, you believe him.
Well, only a fool claims to be wise.
Exactly, which proves I'm right. Dr. Emmett is a fool. He claims he's a doctor. The war was over 5 years ago. And where is his miracle?
Some things take a long time to heal, Jeffrey.
But I can't wait that much longer. I'm getting old. I'll be 26 soon.
And that's ancient. Why don't you forget your appearance and play anyhow? Don't condemn your audience before you give them a chance to be kind.
Look at me and tell me an audience wouldn't shudder at the sight of me. Look. Do you see?
I see nothing to hide, Jeffrey.
Dr. Emmett told you what to say.
No, he didn't. I promise. But I'd believe him if I were you. Just give him a little bit more time.
All right. I'll give him 5 years more.
Fair enough.
Do you know something?
Not a thing. I'm on only by the magnitude of what I don't know.
I wouldn't tell this to anyone else. But Hannibal can't really play the violin.
No.
Yes.
Well, of course, I'm tone deaf.
I'll tell you something. Sometimes I wish I were.
Well, you're a sweet boy to pretend.
Poor Hannibal can't play, yet he does. I really can't, but I won't. Don't you think that's funny?
Not very.
There's a rat in the hole! A rat as big as a mouse! Cut him on a chair quickly, Mrs. Savage!
Mary, what am I going to do with you?
You put me right off my coffee.
You know there's no rat in the hall.
Well, Mrs. Savage doesn't! She's bored here, and I intend to make life exciting for her.
Thank you, Fairy. You'll be happy to know I just aged 50 years. That puts me well over the 100 mark.
Oh, then we must
only my conscience won't needle me.
Are you sure there haven't been any calls or messages for me today?
Positive.
Then, would it be possible to send to the village for tonight's newspaper?
Well, if you'll serve the coffee, I'll ask Dr. Evans.
Gladly.
Here you are, Bingo.
Florence hasn't been served yet.
Oh, don't stand on manners, Jeff. Miss Winnie knows just how you like your coffee. I'll get my own.
Very well. Thank you.
You're annoyed.
You single me out for attention, Miss Willie. It's unfair and it makes me uncomfortable.
Jeff, I'm so tired tonight. I forgot. You'll have to forgive me.
It's okay. I forget too.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the best dressed of them all? Oh, Fairy who?
Creaming your coffee, Fairy.
Please, do you think this dress does anything for me? I made it myself.
It is sheer delight. Sugar?
Please, 5. I didn't have time to finish it, so I had to put it together with pins.
Hannibal?
No, thank you.
Would you like to know a way to make that exercise enjoyable, Hannibal?
An enjoyable way of losing weight has yet to be invented.
Well, I know of an improvement. All you need is a deck of cards.
I went to a fortune teller when I was 14. Everything he told me turned out wrong. I never believed in cards after that.
Now, just throw them up in the air
Why?
to lose weight. Now, all you have to do, bend over and pick them up again one by one.
I like that. It's tiny.
I learned it in a beauty course.
Thank you, Mrs. Savage. It's a great improvement.
Oh, wouldn't it be easier to pick them up sideways?
Mush. Man was made all wrong. His stomach should be in back. Because when he bends, it gets in the way. His legs buckle out rather than folding neatly behind him. And why should his nose be in front? It only gets in the way when he kisses.
You're so right, Hannibal.
I guess God was in a hurry.
Well, Hannibal, what are we doing now?
We're losing weight.
Oh, would you postpone it for a little while? Would you all go upstairs to the study for a few moments? I'd like to have a talk with Mrs. Savage. Florence, could you take the coffee up with you?
I do hate having coffee upstairs. So middle class.
Where's John Thomas?
Oh, I think you left him on the phonograph.
Oh, yes. He adores classics.
Upstairs, downstairs, till I think I'll scream. I stay, John Hammond. No, you may not.
Miss Willie tells me you seem anxious to see tonight's papers. Why?
Habit.
Well, here they are. It will undoubtedly please you to know you've caused considerable trouble. Again.
Have I? Titus on the front page. Senator trapped in White House hothouse.
Just in talking to him, he's exceedingly angry.
Imagine pulling up all those petunias. What will everyone think?
The result of this, your position here has deteriorated considerably.
And my disposition has blossomed enormously. Anything about Samuel?
Oh, yes, sir. Here's the Boston Post.
Dear, oh dear, poor Samuel, all those bricks right on top of him. Chimney collapses on Boston Durst. Well, for some people it takes a ton of bricks, you know.
How could I possibly have believed you?
They should be committed, shouldn't they, Doctor? Nothing about Lily Bell?
Your batting average for mischief is 100%, Mrs. Savage.
Oh, what a horrible picture of Lily Bell. This would brighten even Fairy.
According to this, she resisted arrest.
So I see. Female vandal invades museum. Berserk heiress bites police. They really are fools, aren't they, Doctor?
What you hope to gain, Mrs. Savage?
Better terms.
For your freedom?
For my husband's memorial fund.
Your children believe the money can be put to better use.
Of course, their own. Lily Bell settled over $1 million on her 6 husbands. Titus and Samuel spent just as much to secure jobs to which they had no right. Is that better use, Doctor?
They consider your memorial fund most unorthodox, Mrs. Savage.
That's absurd. There are plenty of charities for foolish people in desperate need, and none for people with a desperate need to be foolish.
And what brought you to that conclusion?
My own life. No matter what we have, we never forget the foolish things we never got. Had Hannibal been given a violin when he wanted one, he wouldn't need one now.
It's quite possible.
I want my husband to be remembered with warmth and gratitude for a few foolish dreams that came true. I will not give up my memorial to him.
I wish to discuss this with you further, but at the moment your visitor is waiting. You can come in now, Senator. I'll be just outside if you need.
My headache's gone.
How dare you make a fool of me? How dare you?
You tried to kill me! You knew that chimney would fall as soon as I started pulling bricks out, didn't you?
We're really not a very bright family, are we?
Oh, you must be proud indeed to see the name of the savage held up to ridicule again.
Did you dig, Titus?
8 FBI men jumped me, pushed my face in the dirt, thought I was planting a bomb.
Why didn't you tell the papers the truth? I did. Sleepwalking, really?
You tried to give an excuse with 8 men in your chest.
We love the chance.
It was learned today that the senator's mother, Mrs. Ethel P. Savage, the actress, was recently committed for irresponsible actions. Democratic leaders were quick to point out that this might explain clear strange behavior in the Congress by the senator. Do you realize what this does to me politically?
Makes you a more canard. Dead duck. French. Remember?
I'll never survive it. Never.
They treated me like a common criminal. I was fingerprinted.
Oh, I meant to ask you, Lily Bell, what is an stuffed porpoise?
Do you know what the papers call us now?
The mad savages.
How do you like it?
What happened to those bonds?
What happened to our dignity?
Where is my money?
Where is your self-respect?
May I ask just what you intend to do now?
Are you ready to listen to my terms? Or would you care to dig in Grant's too?
We are prepared to compromise.
If that means you'll see things my way, then compromise is the right word.
I will consider accepting your release into the custody of someone else for a period of time. It would look better for us.
And I'd be willing to give her complete freedom if she'd give up acting and lead a dignified life.
Freedom, as Titus can tell you, is the right to make the wrong choice.
What would we get?
That's what I like about you, Titus. No nonsense. You will each receive a reasonable yearly allowance.
Reasonable.
I shall be generous. The bulk of the estate must be given away by my funds.
It's completely mad.
We may have the commitment revoked, only to have you play another trick on us. Where would we be then?
Where are you now?
Get it over with, Titus.
Very well. Try to retract it, Samuel.
I'm tired of having my decisions reversed.
When I'm released, I will keep my promise, but I warn you, don't have me followed.
Samuel, wait a minute.
What is it?
I found the answer on the cover of this medical journal, but I have to see Dr. Evan first.
Are you going to sign that petition, Lily Bell?
Don't you sign anything till I get back.
What could she have read? God knows.
Something to trick you. If you listen to her again, you'll end up without scent.
What do? Finish it. Lily Bell has got us in trouble enough.
And be quick. Yours and Samuel's signature will be enough.
How many T's in commitment?
3.
2.
It doesn't look right.
All right, give me your pen.
Hey, give it back!
All it needs to say is that the commitment was ill-advised and request release. Will that satisfy you?
It will when you sign it.
Sign it, Samuel.
What are you doing?
We are signing the letter. Sign it, Lily Bell.
It isn't necessary.
Lily
have no right to act without consulting us, Lily Bell.
Oh, do be quiet. Read that.
Read what?
The article on sodium pentothal. Perhaps I'd better let Dr. Emmett explain. Could you tell them what sodium pentothal does, Doctor?
It's generally used in cases of shock. It relieves tension, releases a patient's inhibitions, and makes them more susceptible to suggestion.
It's called the truth drug.
That's not quite accurate, however.
But under its influence, the patient answers truthfully. Isn't that so, Doctor?
If they answer at all.
Now, do you understand? Did you want me, Doctor?
Yes, just a moment.
Doctor, get some of this truth drug and administer it to my mother at once.
Haven't I any rights at all, Doctor?
Dr. Emmett, may I say something? Surely you're not going to listen to these people. It's a flagrant misuse of science.
Doctor, I order you to use this drug on my mother at once.
Mrs. Savage, if I refuse, the guardians are quite within their legal right to remove you from my authority. I'm confident they'll find the means of subjecting you to sodium pentothal elsewhere.
Then let someone else be responsible, Doctor.
$10 million hidden from use does no one any good, least of all you. It remains an ever-present symptom of psychotic thinking. This is your chance to prove you're capable of making a rational decision. An intelligent mind recognizes defeat.
Well, let it be known that I was not forced to my knees by science. I will tell you where the bonds are. They are
I'll stand by you, Mrs. Savage.
happen to be listening. Shame on you and you and you.
Dr. Emmett, who are these people?
These are my friends.
Hazel, weren't you asked to stay upstairs?
I want to protest, Doctor.
Who gives you the right to protest, sir? This doesn't concern you.
I love you all for wanting to help me, but Dr. Emmett hasn't much choice, as you must have heard.
What will you do, Mrs. Savage?
I will give them the bonds.
I think you're making the right decision.
Are you going to tell us or not?
I'm going to show you. We are going to show you. Oh, you heard it!
Very all right.
Here is your treasure.
My God, she had them with her the whole time.
Mrs. Patty's here! Mrs. Patty! Mrs. Patty!
Where's the light switch? Someone turn those lights on.
Simone, turn the lights back on.
For God's sake, Titus, don't move. Someone might kill you.
Strike him down. I haven't got a match. What is this?
It's me, let go of me.
Turn on those lights, you hear me? Who turned those lights off?
One of our patients, Mrs. Patty.
Where's Lily Bell? She's disappeared.
Oh my gracious, what are you doing down there?
Somebody pushed me.
Wasn't me. I wasn't near enough.
The bonds, they're gone.
Gone.
What did you do with them?
I put them on the table. You saw me do it yourself.
Then where are they?
Excuse me, Senator. I think Mrs. Patty has them. Seems pretty obvious to me that she turned off the lights, took the bonds, and ran.
Miss Lily, find Mrs. Patty. Notify the guards to stop her before he destroys those bonds.
I can't bear it. I simply can't bear it. I'm going to pieces.
Yeah, this'll calm you. Would you like to try?
Darling Mrs. Patty. Come, girls. Let's go for a walk.
Why, this is simply a madhouse.
Let me call Miss Lily and find out where we are. Yes, Miss Willie. Good. 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 Well, all the wards have been locked up, the staff is alerted, and Miss Willie is searching the basement now.
But did they find that woman?
Not yet.
Then what in heaven's name is the good all about?
We're taking every possible precaution, Senator.
That maniac has $10 million worth of negotiable bonds. If they're not found, they can't be replaced.
What will she do with them, Doctor?
She'll probably eat them.
I don't know. We're sure to recover them, it just may take some time.
Years, probably.
They were right in front of us, in our grasp. Why didn't you stop her?
How did I know the lights were going to go out?
Quite possible Mrs. Patty didn't take them at all.
Of course she did. No one else could have taken them.
You could have.
Lily Bell was 10 feet away from the table.
She's mighty quick when it comes to money. Personally, I think she took them and stuffed them down her front. Heaven knows there's room. Why don't you search her?
You didn't take them, did you, Lily Bell?
Can't you see she's trying to make us suspect one another?
Well, someone else could have taken them. He was near the table when the lights went out.
He was right beside it.
Well, what did you say?
I didn't take them. I don't like bonds.
The Queen of Spades! Someone's gonna die!
Doctor, and it must these people be here?
Get them out of here. No one leaves our sight until he's been searched.
Everybody! Off with his clothes! My glasses too!
Farrier, just a moment. Mrs. Savage, don't make this any harder than you already have.
And for heaven's sake, can somebody do something about this man throwing cards about? My nerves are on edge.
Hannibal, don't.
Don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. I understand you have a lovely tiara. Did you sleep in it?
Sit down, you unattractive creature. I've had quite enough.
I don't like you.
Fairy, will you please sit down and be quiet while we wait?
Very well. Harry, excuse me, I'm upset.
Well, Mrs. Patty, you've had the entire staff searching for you.
Stop her, don't let her get away.
Think you better join us, Mrs. Patty. We'd like to have a talk with you.
Now we'll find out where those bonds are. Hand them over, madam.
You'd better let me question her, Senator. She won't answer you.
Oh, yes, she will.
No, she won't.
We'll just see about this. Well, madam, what have you to say for yourself?
I hate everything in the world, but most of all, I hate revolving doors, cuspidors, fights, buns, fleas, bumblebees, prickly heat, bats, gnats, pills, pots, pans, butts, bladders, worms, germs, pachyderms, and politicians!
What does she mean?
Weren't you listening?
Did you hear what I asked you, madam?
There's no need to shout at Mrs. Patty. She hears you well enough.
Barry, excuse me, please.
She's not going to answer you. She hasn't answered a question in 20 years.
Don't try any tricks on me, madam.
Don't make her mad, Titus. She carries a knife.
Savage, please. Mrs. Patty does not carry a knife. She's hostile, but quite harmless. Now, will you please yield authority, Senator?
Very well, but I want to hear her talk.
So do we all.
Mrs. Patty, this is very important. And I want you to nod yes or no to the questions I ask you. Now, did you take those bonds from the table a few moments ago?
She did, and she did. Oh, this is exciting. Oh, I wish we could open a door and have a body fall out.
Mrs. Patty, look at me. Do you remember turning the lights out? Yes, you do. Do you remember a little bundle of papers on the table? Try to remember. Think.
about the bonds?
I said nothing of the sort.
This restored my faith in witchcraft.
Where did you find them, Miss Willie?
In the basement, in the Hot Ducks leading to Fairy's room.
I told you I was cold all winter, and no one believed me.
I hold you completely responsible for this fiasco, Doctor.
And just what would you suggest I do?
Search that woman. She may have the bonds hidden on her person.
Afraid that's going to present a problem.
Then search everyone else while we concentrate on making her talk.
Very well. Will you take Mrs. Savage to her room and search her, please?
No, I'll go. I'm the youngest, not dressed quickest. Or would you like to cast your eyes?
You first, Fairy. I don't want to miss anything.
Oh, thank you.
Would you like to come with me, Fairy?
Oh, yes. Do you know I was asked to play Lady Godiva for the Elks pageant, but I didn't. My mother was afraid of so many elves.
Wouldn't you like to save us a lot of trouble, Mrs. Patty?
Don't you have some sort of threat you resort to here, Doctor?
I don't threaten my patients. Mrs. Patty, look at me.
The truth drug.
Of course, use the drug on her, then you can make her talk.
I'm afraid that's absolutely out of the question. I'd have to have her guardian's consent.
Who is her guardian?
Her husband.
Very well, we'll get him on the phone. Where is he?
Japan.
Well, in his absence, don't you have the authority to act?
We've no proof she's taken them yet.
I still think Lily Bell's your girl.
Will you stop saying that?
Dr. Ennis.
Yes, Chef.
Well, since Mrs. Savage can't have her bonds now, I think I can help you.
Yes.
Well, Mrs. Patty didn't take them
How do you know?
because I took them.
He's a thief. I knew we were being tricked. Hand them over, young man.
I can't.
Did you take them, Jeffrey?
Yes, sir.
Then what did you do with them?
I've searched Fairy, Doctor. She doesn't have them.
Speak up.
I threw them out the
Go
window.
outside quickly, Titus. Move on.
Parcheesi, the royal game of India.
Jeff, you couldn't have thrown them out the window. The window doesn't open.
Oh.
The windows don't open. What do you mean by misleading us?
Let go, you stupid ass!
He said he took the bonds.
Well, he didn't. I happen to know he didn't.
And how do you happen to know that?
That's none of your business.
How do you know, Miss Willie?
Because I had my arms around Jeff when the lights went off. I wanted to protect him from being hurt during the confusion.
Thank you, Miss Willie.
But she didn't. That's not true. I took them, no one else.
Doctor, Miss Willie, something awful is happening. There's a fire upstairs. Please. This side.
Fairy, you mustn't keep company.
Well, they were. This high, at least.
Sarah, come in and sit down,
But
please.
there's a fire. Please believe me, Doctor, but there's a fire upstairs.
Where?
In the bathtub.
Fairy, sit down.
Kids, I'm full of pins.
Jeff, if you did take the bombs, what did you do with them?
I told you he couldn't have taken them.
Of course he couldn't. Anybody should know that? I should.
Now I suppose you took the bonds.
I confess everything.
There's a fire upstairs.
There's a conspiracy down here.
Where are they, Florence?
I won't tell you.
These people are trying to deceive us.
I have committed this theft with full knowledge of the stigma involved.
Something burning upstairs.
Better search her.
Greedy little man.
Very well. You take Florence to her room and search her, please.
Come on, Florence.
I'll never tell Mrs. Savage, not even if they put me in solitary confinement and cut off all my hair.
It's a waste of time to search dear Florence.
Now I suppose you took the bonds.
No, but I know who did.
I know a fire when I see one.
Who did, Hannibal?
It wasn't Mrs. Patty.
Who was it?
It wasn't Florence either.
I don't want to know who it wasn't. I want to know who was it.
That good grammar.
If you ask a Mohammedan what God is, he'll tell you all the things that he isn't. It's easier than explaining what he is.
And one of the things he isn't on your side.
Hannibal, if you know who took the bombs, will you tell us?
I'm not sure who took them, but I know it was a woman and I know it wasn't Mrs. Patty.
Fill the house burn.
How do you know?
The woman pushed me out of the way to get them.
How do you know it was a woman?
Really, Titus.
How do you know it was not Mrs. Patty?
She doesn't use perfume.
Lily Bell bathes in it.
I was nowhere near the table.
Could you identify the scent?
I think so.
Well, I use gardenia. What do you use, Barry? No name. I make my own. Hannibal. Smell Lily Bell.
Titus, I will not tolerate this. They're making fools of us for their own amusement.
Smell anything, Hannibal?
Yes!
What?
Smoke!
High time!
I must be losing my mind. I smell smoke too.
Dr. Mitch, I found a fire in Mrs. Patty's bathtub.
I don't think I'll be speaking to anyone!
In the bathtub.
I'm afraid it's the bonds. Oh, what's left of them.
Oh, no, 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 no.
Let me see. Why, there's no telling what these are.
Mrs. Patty, you take those bonds to your bathtub and set fire to them.
Senator, here's a part of one that didn't burn. Can you tell what it is?
It's the burnt end of $500,000 bond.
Can you be certain? Mrs. Savage, could you identify this?
Well, the treasure hunt is over. It's all that's left of the $10 million. I should have told a lie, then someone would have believed me.
Yes, I'm sorry, Fairy. I should have believed you anyhow. There must be some way of having these replaced.
Well, there isn't.
They can't be gone. They just can't be.
You miserable, useless creature! Do you know what he's cost
Never mind him, Mrs. Patty.
I have stood for as much bullying of my patients as I intend to. Now would you be so kind as to leave at once?
What about the burden? Is it worth anything?
us? Nothing. I hold you completely responsible for this doctor.
I can't be forced. I don't know how.
It's all right, Lily Bell. We'll survive it. We always have. I'm still senator.
I never intended it to end like this, believe me, Lily Bell.
Take me home, Titus.
Titus,
Yes,
what happens to me?
we would never allow you to be sent to public institution. We are savages.
Bye! We say goodbye to people we don't want to see again.
Oh, don't cry, Mrs. Patty. I'm sure you hate tears, too.
Maybe she thinks her tub is cracked.
Do you think you could change them, Mrs. Savage?
You don't change people. One makes change people learn to accept. I hope to make them look like fools so they, with understanding, are the fools of good heart.
You are the fools of good heart.
I'd say those who gamble on people and invest in kindness, those who doubt that position means privilege and manners mean morals, and, most of all, the rebels with no fear of failure.
That makes very good sense.
It justifies my being here.
Would you like to leave?
They never let me go.
They have nothing to say about it. No patient's commitment is final until I have made my decision, and I find no valid reason for your remaining.
Does that mean I'm free?
Well, I could release you at my own authority at once, but let me call the state medical inspector. Then we can know for certain.
I think I'll pack your things, just in case. You can always unpack again.
Oh no, why would you say that, Mary? You want to leave us. But I must.
Is someone waiting for you?
No. Does somebody need you? No. Well, you can't leave. I haven't determined if you're going away present yet. Maybe there's still time to find a suitable gift anyhow. If you won't be fussy,
something on me that I prize. My class ring. Inside it says, "Let there be light." Something Mrs. Patty would probably hate.
Hannibal, I can't take the ring off your finger.
I insist. It has no value as gold goes, but as blood goes, it's a statistical treasure. My heart has pumped my blood through this ring every 2 minutes for the last 10 years. That adds up to roughly 100,000 gallons of blood.
That's too much, Hannibal.
Not at all. But I can't seem to be able to get it off.
Keep it, Hannibal. I deeply appreciate the offer, the sentiment, and the statistics.
My fingers gotten too fat on each side of the ring.
Never mind, Hannibal. You've had it so long, it's become a part of you. I'm so... Feel my heart. Oh, my very dear. But I found something. I hope you didn't expect much, and you won't be disappointed. I won't be disappointed. I couldn't find anything to wrap it in besides Kleenex. You can feel my heart too, Hannibal.
Thank you. About 104 beats per minute, I'd say.
How very nice.
What is it?
It's a handkerchief. Oh, no, it's a napkin. So many places serve paper napkins, but they blot or smear. Bless you, fairy. Take it with me whenever I'm invited out. It says the cloisters on it. Wasn't that lucky?
The fairy found gift first. What'd she give you?
A hand-picked napkin.
Then it fits in perfectly with mine. It's practical after all. I hope you don't mind.
What is it?
Salt shaker.
And full of salt, too.
It's engraved. It says the cloisters on it.
You've gone to too much trouble.
It was nothing.
Is it sterling?
Very dear. I wouldn't dream of giving Mrs. Savage anything that wasn't sterling.
Oh, it's dented.
Really, fairy. Dents give an antique character.
Indeed they do. Well, I'm not going to say goodbye. I can't stand goodbyes. I don't recognize them.
You didn't expect us to say goodbye, did you?
I didn't even expect a salt shaker. Well,
How do you do, Mrs. Savage? We have so looked forward to meeting you.
we're glad you're here at last. Make yourself at home.
Oh, I almost forgot. John Thomas asked me to give you something for him. He was afraid if he delivered it himself, he'd catch his measles. Come, fairy. Pretend it's garden hour.
Excuse us, please. We have to take leave. Mrs. Savage, take an umbrella. It's raining.
Well, what did you get, Jeff?
Just a book. I hope you enjoy it.
What is it?
The lifespan of the ape. You know, I've never read it.
I was lucky, wasn't I?
I'm going to read it tonight.
Oh, we thought you'd forgotten us, Mrs. Patty.
What did you get, Mrs. Patty?
How did you know this is just what I needed?
May I see it?
The genuine mother of pearl button. I will sew it on at once.
I think it's intended to be an eye for the bear.
Bless your angry heart, why of course. You know, he's hated having only one eye. Thank you. I hate everything in the world. I hate everything in the world, but I hate everything in the world but you. I love you, and I wish you wouldn't leave us.
Everybody's polite. Watch out. Don't break your neck.
You have a good seat.
I think I have everything. Oh, here's your $85 hat. I told you you'd want it again.
Oh, my beautiful and foolish cat.
You know, I think you've been wearing it backwards.
You know, I have. It's good to be straightened out.
Where did everybody go?
Gave me going away presents and then refused to say goodbye.
I bet I can guess what they gave you.
No, you can't. Mrs. Paggy gave me an eye with which to see myself. Lawrence, a grain of salt to take with what I see.
That's good. And Fairy?
A memory of loveliness.
I'm afraid to know she wouldn't seem a lovely girl.
She wears her plainness, great beauty.
And Jeff?
The Book of Job.
Nothing from Hannibal?
I'd say he gave me an appreciation of music I never had before.
Well, I have something to give to you, too.
You behave yourself.
It isn't much.
It better not be. My bonds.
Except for one corner of one that I had to burn with the newspapers to make it look convincing.
Oh, dear, where did you find these?
I did find them. I took them when the lights went out.
Why?
I'm not sure.
Don't tell me you're a kleptomaniac.
It was too quick to think. What bothers me is that after I took them, I toyed with the idea of keeping them.
It's a normal impulse. What stopped you?
What Jeff might think.
My dear, that kind of thinking isn't good for you. You have to get out of here.
But you knew that Jeff was my husband, didn't you?
I certainly did not.
Well, he is. I want to be here for him when he recovers. But do you know why I didn't take any of that money? Pure selfishness. I want to do everything for him myself. Surely you can understand that.
Only thing I don't understand is how I ever could have felt so sorry for myself. Isn't there something like no fool like a you know what?
Something. But I don't think it applies to you.
Does anyone else know about these?
I told Dr. Emmett.
Well, whether you want it or not, you will both be hearing from my memorial.
I just talked to the medical inspector.
Yes?
The station wagon is outside, ready to take you wherever you want to go. You should take Mrs. Sanders' bags out of the car for her.
Yes, Doctor.
I have just a few papers for you to sign, and then you're free to go.
You must be crazy, really. I don't want to leave.
You mean you'd prefer to leave tomorrow?
I don't think I want to go at all.
Why would you want to stay?
Suddenly, I'm weary. I would like to rest. I would like to be relieved of decision. I would like to be protected against uncertainty and accident. I would like to close my eyes at night and know that there are walls that guard my sleep.
But the peace you found here is the moon reflected on a dark lake. Strike the surface and you destroy it. Is that the kind of peace you want?
I want what everyone wants. I want nothing. These people found contentment.
How do you know?
I have eyes to see.
So has Jeffrey, but he sees only what he wants to see. An excuse for not facing the future. Does Florence see that her child was taken from her? Does Fairy see what the mirror should tell her? No. They found refuge in an eggshell world where you don't belong. You see yourself clearly, I am certain.
Where do I belong?
The world you can best serve. The impulse to live your life with courage was correct. Go ahead with your memorial fund. Don't be betrayed by the illusion of contentment. The door is open for you. Make your peace with loneliness.
song to take anywhere you go. Here is your song.
Thank you.